Hi, I'm Melissa Krieger with DoYogaWithMe. This is a very gentle practice. We don't even leave the floor to help you just move your body when you're feeling a bit anxious and stressed out. These are really simple movements that I do quite frequently just to help me relax. If you have a block or a cushion to sit on, you could use it. There'll be a shorter Shavasana, but if you'd like to stay longer, you can. Enjoy. We'll begin today's practice lying down in any position that you're comfortable in. Be fussy with your comfort. So whatever little adjustments you need to make to feel better. If you'd like some support underneath your head like a cushion, that can feel really nice. I prefer my knees bent rather than my legs straight. My low back likes that better. And you can play around and feel what works for you. Your eyes can be opened or closed. Yoga is a mindfulness practice. It's a moving mindfulness practice. And we have this beautiful opportunity at the beginning to be still and to notice. So notice the sounds. Maybe it's the waves that capture your attention. You can notice the contact points where your body touches down. You can notice your breath. Just tuning into something or one at a time, a few things that are currently happening in this experience. For me, I really like the sound of those waves. So that's where I'm going to focus my attention. And when my mind wanders away, and it will, so will yours, it's fine. Use that present moment experience, whatever that might be, listen to it or feel into it, and then come back. No big deal. Notice how you feel. What's going on, your energy level. How does your body feel? What's your mood? Remembering that it's all good, it's all welcome. You don't need to push any of those feelings or thoughts away. You can make room for all those different experiences and emotions, even if they're not always the ones we prefer. And that's okay. Noticing that sensation of how it is for you right now. Just digging a little bit deeper. Is there a different way you want to feel? So for example, if I was feeling anxious, I might want to feel a little calmer. But I know that anxiety you might experience is really normal. But it's not quite the way I want to go through my day today. So I'm going to use the mantra of calm. And I might even add an I am onto that. I am calm. I am calm. And maybe using a mantra works for you. Maybe not, and that's okay as well. Take 5 more breaths, please. at the end of that 5th breath, I might want to take a big stretch, maybe a big yawn. Really stretching out through my fingers, through my toes. Then you can turn it into a little bit of a side stretch where I'm reaching a bit more through one side. So I'm reaching a little bit more through my left arm, through my left leg, getting that left side a bit longer. I'm going to do the same thing over on the right side. Just extending and reaching, creating a little bit more space. And then when that all feels like it's done, you can bend the knees, bringing the feet flat. Take the feet as wide as the mat. Do whatever you want with your arms. I like to throw my arms kind of back behind me like a cactus shape, and then dropping the knees from side to side like windshield wipers. So sometimes when I'm feeling anxious or just really stressed out, or that weird feeling where you just kind of feel like restless and jittery, I find a little bit of movement is very helpful. So this would be a pretty typical movement practice for me when I just need to get out of my head and into my body and just kind of soothe myself a little bit. So we'll just be moving really gently, all the different ways that our body can move. And I might suggest something that feels really great for you, and maybe you want to do that for a while. Or I might suggest something that just doesn't suit your body and you're welcome to do something different or take a break. Think of me as offering guidance, but you're your best teacher. I'm offering inspiration. You can move in the way you want to move. If you also want to just follow everything I say, that's also totally fine. At some point, walk your feet in, bring your arms down. You could take a big exhale and draw your knees in towards the chest. You can hold onto your legs, maybe staying still or maybe moving a little bit. I'm not going to offer too much direction on your breath. I might occasionally say take a big exhale and then do this to help to wake up your core, but I'd just like you to find the rhythm of your breath that feels the best for you right now. You can have your hands on your knees or maybe not, and then just circle the knees in whatever direction you like. Sometimes when I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and I'm trying to do all these different things with my body like a yoga practice, and then I also have to figure out like how the breath's going to fit in with those movements, it feels like it's a bit much. Circle the other way. So I would like to just offer up that experience of you just fit in the breath when it makes sense. Make sure you breathe, of course, but just find the rhythm that works. It may feel good to keep the knees wide, and maybe you're just like this with the knees and the feet open, or it could be more like happy baby where you could flex your feet up towards the sky. You could rest your hands anywhere at the back of the legs. You could stay still or rock a little bit from side to side. And then bring your feet down to the ground. Draw one leg in. It doesn't matter which leg it is. Hold on to the back of that leg and then stretch and bend that leg a few times. Occasionally check in that your chin's a little bit tucked in, so the back of the neck stays long and the shoulders are coming away from the ears. When you've got that chin a little bit tucked in, pointing downwards, you're helping to stimulate the relaxation response in your body. So you're helping to calm yourself down. Keep that leg up now and then point and flex the foot. And it doesn't really matter if that leg is super straight or not. Just please have it in the way that feels the most comfortable. And then circle out your ankle a few times. Go the other way. Now bend that knee and cross your ankle over your thigh. So this is this basic stretch for your backside, and the back foot can just be where it is. That could be enough sensation in your hip. Back foot could come in closer, that leg could hover, or you could reach all the way through, grabbing onto the back thigh, or some of you might even reach through and grab for that shin. If that doesn't make sense, you can look at your screen and you can see what I'm doing. Can you find a way, though, that you're still relaxed in your body, in your breath? Maybe there's a lot of sensation in the stretch, but there's still some ease there. You can still breathe. And if that isn't true, please unwind a little bit out of that pose. Give yourself a bit more space. Round a breath. You can release. Uncross your legs. Just pause. Notice how things feel. Does it feel different from side to side? Does it feel different from when you first started this practice? Let's try that other leg, please. So drawing that thigh in, hold on to the back of it, and then stretch and bend that leg a few times. I keep noticing how my chin just wants to jut up. So you might find that same thing if you notice the chin reaching upwards. Can you just bring it downwards slightly? Lengthen the back of the neck. Keep that leg up now. Maybe it's not super straight, no big deal. Point and flex the foot. And then circle out your ankle a few times. Don't worry about the creaks and the cracks. It's just really normal. Go the other way. As long as those pops and cracks don't hurt, it's all good. And then bend the knee. Press your ankle over your thigh. So here we are on the second side, and maybe it's quite different. Please find where you need to be to get the sensation that you're after, while still maintaining some softness through the body. Take 3 more breaths. Uncross your legs. You can take the feet a little bit wider apart and let the knees knock in towards each other. That can be a nice position for your pelvis and your back. Then take your arms up towards the ceiling and circle out the wrists a few times. And go in both directions. Turn the palms towards each other. Pretend like you're pulling your shoulder blades away from each other and away from the floor. So you'll reach your fingers up a little higher, like an inch or two, and then let the arms come back down again. So you're just moving a couple inches in each direction. If you're not sure what I mean, just peek at your screen. So reaching up a little bit and then lowering the arms. Maybe an inhale as you go up, exhale as you come down. And that exhale could be kind of forceful, like a nice little release. Go for one more. Now bring your fingertips and your thumb tips to touch like you've got a little globe shape in your hands, and bend your elbows a bit like you've got a rounded shape above your chest. Reach your arms back behind you and then come above your chest. So just find that range. Try to link up your breath and your movement, which might change the tempo of your movement, might make you slow down a little bit. Bring your arms above your chest again. Keep this rounded shape. This time, open your arms out and away from each other. And then pull them back in. It's just a few different ways to open up your shoulders. Our hips, our shoulders tend to get pretty tight. So we're just trying to create a little bit more room, a little bit more softness. Bring your arms back in. Bend your arms enough so that you can grab onto your elbows. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Point your knees up to the ceiling. And then drop into a twist. So that means your knees go one way and your elbows go the other way. So twisting from side to side. You could move your head if you wanted to. Your head could go with your elbows, with your arms, or away. This can be a pretty big twist. You can really pull your knees in one direction and push the elbows in the other direction. So even if I'm doing quite a short practice, I'm still trying to move my body all the different ways that it can. So right now we are twisting. We've done a little bit of lateral movement, a little bit of side stretching. We need a little bit of flexion and extension too. That'll come up soon. But you could also leave the head, the neck still. So when I'm doing a practice, whether I'm teaching or practicing on my own, I'm thinking about moving my body all the different ways that it can. So right now we are twisting. We did a little bit of side stretching. We're going to do a little bit more soon. We need to do some flexion and extension, so arching and rounding our back. And that's coming up as well. And come on back through to center. You can release your arms and then walk your feet a bit closer together. They're not side by side, but they're close. And the heels can be close-ish in towards your backside. And just feel that your feet are fairly flat on the floor and that your hips and knees and heels are all about in the same line. The arms can be down beside you. We'll move them as well. Maybe on your inhale, lift your hips and your arms up. Reach the arms back behind you. And then lower the hips and lower the arms. So you might sync up your breath and your movement if that suits you. Our bodies do like that movement and breath together. But you can figure out where the inhales and the exhales go. Often in yoga, the inhales are when we're like lifting or opening, and the exhales are kind of when we're closing or releasing. But you see what suits you. When this feels like it's done, lower back down again. And then make your way into all fours, please. So you could get yourself up however you like. When you get into all fours, have the wrists underneath your shoulders and your fingers spread wide. You can move through your cat-cow curls, so rounding and arching your back. So here's that extension, arching your back, and flexion, rounding. Come back through to center. Walk your hands a little bit forward. I call these moving cat-cow curls. So round your back and push back in the direction of child's pose. And then pull back up to all fours and arch your back. Round, child's pose, all fours, and arch. So just moving at the tempo that makes sense for you. Some of you might like to make this a little bit more back bendy, so maybe the hips fall even more forward. It's not appropriate for everybody, but for some of you it might be a nice fit. The other option could be moving into a little bit of circling, so coming up and going to the side and the front, the side and the back. And then you can go the other way. And then at some point, just head back into child's pose. So maybe the knees go wider apart, the big toes might come closer together, pressing the hips back and bringing the forehead down to the mat or down to your hands. Take 2 more breaths. Come back up into all fours. Stretch your right leg back behind you and land on your toes. And then just push in and out of that heel a few times, or kind of back and forth. And then take that leg and hop it over. So hop it over towards the left side and then look over your left shoulder. Take a few breaths. And bring that leg back through, back into all fours. Stretch the other leg back behind you and push in and out of that a few times. And then take that leg and hop it over towards the opposite side and peek over that shoulder. And bring that leg back through to center, back into all fours. And you might make your way up towards downward dog, so the hands could go a little forward, a little wider. Toes tuck under, lift up the knees, press the hips up and back. Remember, your heels don't need to touch the ground. Your knees don't need to be super straight. They can be bent. You can stay still, or you can walk it out, bending one knee at a time. Take 2 more breaths. Come on down to your seat, please. Any comfortable seated position. If you've got something to sit up on, you might sit up on that support. You can bring your fingers up towards your shoulders and then just circle your shoulders a few times. So they end up kind of being elbow circles as well. You can go in both directions. Interlace your fingers, push your palms forward, reach your arms up and get up a little bit taller. Try to straighten your arms a bit more if you can. Try to pull your elbows back a little more if you can. Take a round of breath. Release your arms, coming into a twist. So one arm comes across the thigh, the other hand goes back behind you, turning, looking over the back shoulder. Reach the arms forward and up, turn forward, and then twist to the other side. Turning forward, bring the arms with you to twist. And one last time, reaching up, turning, twisting. Bring your arms back up again. Pull your arms back a little bit and pretend you're trying to touch out to the sides and back behind you. This is kind of slow. So just pulling your arms out and back, trying to get a good shoulder stretch. And then release the arms. If you're in a cross-legged position, you might cross your legs the other way. And getting into the neck a bit. Drop your chin down towards your chest. And then lift your head so you're looking forward, maybe up slightly, depending on how your neck feels about this. Mine doesn't like a huge range of motion, so I just look up a little bit. And then dropping the chin down, lifting, looking forward, maybe up. So you're in charge of that range of motion. Drop the chin down to the chest again. Stay here, either still, or take some half neck circles. So just letting the chin roll around in the front of the body. Drop the chin down to the chest again. And then bring the head back up. Take your nose and pretend like you're circling it on a clock, so it's not a very big circle. You can circle up and down. In my body, this neck circle feels way safer than like full big neck circles, but it's always your call. And if you want to make this bigger, you're more than welcome to. You can go the other way. And bring your head back up again. Make your way onto your belly, please. You can rest your chin or your cheek or your forehead on your hands, your knees. The knees can be a little bit wider apart. The knees drop from side to side. And drop the legs back behind you. Couple options to extend your spine. You could stay exactly how you are. This is a little bit of a back bend, and for some students this is a really good fit, letting the chin just rest there on the hands. Or you could bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Bring your elbows together underneath your shoulders. Bring your hands and rest your chin on your hands. If it's too high, go back down again. Rest more down on your belly. Take 2 breaths. Release. Lie on your side. Bend your bottom arm. Make it like a little cushion. And then bend your top knee and reach back and grab a hold of your foot or your pant leg or your heel. So taking a stretch for your thigh, for your quadricep. If you want to increase the stretch, you could pull that heel a little closer to your thigh, or you can pull the thigh back a bit more. Release that leg. Let the legs be stacked and bent. You can still use your bottom arm as your cushion. Take your top arm and stretch it out. So for this twist, think about moving just your upper body. From your lower body downwards, you're pretty still, but from your belly button upwards, you're moving. Take your top arm and watch that hand as you reach up and open into a twist. And then you can reach that arm back up and over again. Do that maybe 4 more times, reaching up, letting the torso turn and open, and releasing. And just going at your own pace, please. Release out of that. And make your way over towards your second side. Using that bottom arm as a cushion. Just gonna move my blocks out of the way. Quadricep stretch first, so bend your top knee, reach back, grab a hold of that foot, that heel, that pant leg, whatever you can get. So a super gentle practice. We didn't even leave the floor, but still getting into everything, all the things that we needed to get into, moving our body, all the different ways that it can. I know for me, when I'm feeling anxious or stressed, I also feel kind of stuck, and I feel like moving my body is really helpful rather than just like sitting on my couch and being kind of panicky. So hopefully you're feeling that kind of shift as well. And it wasn't that difficult, right? Like it was an easy practice. And just knowing that you're doing something really helpful for your body and for your mind too, giving yourself a distraction while you move. We'll finish up with that twist. So that top arm, you can stretch it out and then reach it up and over. Remember, you're letting that whole upper body move. So my spine, my chest, my arm, my head, everything's opening up, but my legs are staying still. So I'm getting this really great rotation through my spine and a nice stretch through my shoulders. And when you finish that 5 or so, making your way onto your back into Shavasana. Unless, of course, you'd rather rest on your stomach or on your side, or at home, you could get your legs up the wall or drape your legs over some furniture. Make sure you're cozy, grabbing any layers that you might need. This will be a shorter Shavasana, but please feel free to stay longer if you like. You can just ignore me and rest. Might tune back into the sound of the waves. Please ignore me if you'd like to stay longer in Shavasana. Otherwise, start to bring a little bit of attention, awareness back to the body, deepening your breath perhaps. Or adding some movement. I like to wiggle my fingers on my toes and circle out my wrists and my ankles. Take a big stretch, maybe a big yawn. You can bend your knees and roll over to your side. You might pause for a breath. And then eventually you can push yourself up, coming up to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to prayer, closing your eyes, bowing your head. If you did use a mantra, you might come back to it. And if you didn't, maybe there is one that you'd like to pick up to carry you through the rest of your day. So maybe a word, how you'd like to feel. And maybe adding that I am in front of it. I am calm. I am relaxed. I am at peace. Whatever it is. Thank yourself for practicing today. Thank your body. Open your eyes. Lift your gaze. Thank you so much. Really good work. Namaste.